Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. And before I start the video, I wanted to give a brief background on who I am, what I do, what I drive, what are the mods we've done, and what are the goals so far for the ND Miata endurance car. First off, my name is Angie Mead and I've been involved in Philippine motorsports for as long as I can remember. My first job was in a racing company, which was at 17 to 18 years old. And then after that, I got into multiple disciplines like drag racing, drifting, circuit racing, and then a little bit of rally driving. And I've circled back and gotten more involved with local Philippine motorsports. Ever since 2022, I've been involved with the Miata Spec series locally. I was also involved back then in the Ferrari Challenge series for about 2 years, one in Asia, one in the US, and then I also joined just two legs of Formula 4 and Formula 3. Currently, we are driving a 2019 ND2 Miata, and it started off as our Philippine spec car, and it grew quickly into something else that is now a very competitive, capable track weapon for the endurance championships, at least locally. The goal for the Miata was obviously to win first overall. As soon as we realized that if we wanted to win the open class, it would mean that we had to really change the way we saw modifying the car. And that's what this video is going to lead to, on the things that we've done along the way to get this car up to competitive specs so that we can dominate the series. Now, we've done the full welded in roll cage, the full carbon fiber body. The engine is still stock. The only power adders we have is the headers, a decat, exhaust, which is still stainless steel, and then we also have a slight tune. The car was making around 176 wheel horsepower, which is severely underpowered. One of the biggest issues that we had with the whole past 3 years of competing in the endurance championship is the gearbox was our weakest link. We led a development program along with Richard from HTT to develop a gearbox for this. We have a custom bell housing, a 3-mo 6-speed sequential gearbox, along with I think an Agura clutch, and then a custom drive shaft. And then the rear end we got from the Japanese ND, which is a 4.1 final drive, and then a Cusco LSD, along with the Cusco arms, semi-solid engine supports, and then transmission support. We have the upgraded ball joints from Cusco also, and then inside we have the Sparco carbon seat, Sparco steering wheel. We are running the stock ECU with a flash, the stock wiring system, the stock ABS system is all in the car. Traction control works. Brakes, we have the Brembos up in front, and then the Willwoods up in the back. And then the wing is from Odula in Japan. Fuel cell is still standard. We don't have a surge tank. We also have a quick fuel filler system now located on the side where our pit side is, so the boys don't need to run across. I have installed also a Rampage drink system for the drivers, and I'm working on the current cooling system. Lately, we installed also the flat foot shifting from Z Engineering, I don't know how to pronounce it, but they developed the kit for us so that we can use a strain gauge so that we can get flat foot shifting and also auto blips on the downshift. And then besides that, I guess a cold air intake. Most of the mods that I can remember, the radiator, believe it or not, is stock and is working really well. We don't have the fans anymore because I have sort of V-mounted the radiator system, and then just basic comms in the car. One key thing I'd like to point out that we are running a stock Miata ND2 Sky Active motor because we are working with Mazda Philippines, and one of the promises that we had was we can sort of touch anything and modify anything except the engine, keeping it truly a Mazda. And we've actually studied getting motors from the other Mazda platforms, but it does involve a lot of R&D. There's no support for the Sky Active motor in terms of aftermarket ECU, so we haven't really done that because of the BCM immobilizer issues that we might be plagued with. Next year we might have another motor, but that's to follow for another update. Back here in Clark Speedway. Track looks like it's about to open. Focus on this, getting the ND Miata out. One of these days I have to take this out. I can't remove it because we broke the suspension on this, so I need to figure out what's gonna happen. I'm gonna bring home some wheels also to bring back to the car shop. Let's go over some key things that we want to change. For the next endurance race, I was tasked to order new brake rotors, new brake pads for the front and rear because I think we're running out. For the next race also, we're going to try to run the new Vogue Racing wheels. And then definitely for testing, we got to see if the Vogue Racing wheels make sense. The boys at Classic Speed are here already. We have a new Lexan windshield to put on, which means the front glass is going to be lighter, although we have to put a support bar up in the middle so it doesn't cave in at high speed. In that box over there, we have the new drive shaft as well. So this trailer is pretty cool. Other plans we have with the Miata is to lighten it. Try to figure out what else we can lighten from this car. I'm supposed to do the flat bottom as well. The flat bottom is to help with the aerodynamics. And the last piece of the puzzle here was to actually do the roof. It is a CCP made in the USA. I do love the roof, but it is fiberglass, which means we can save some weight there. So we're possibly going to trim all this out and integrate the controls right here. When I first started modifying this Mazda, my list was long, but I am actually getting to the point where the things that I want to modify about the car are just getting less and less and less already. And it's getting harder for me to find that small increments of improvement of where we can find gains on the racetrack in efficiency for fuel or driver. So we even haven't mounted the surge tank, which is one of the things we wanted to mount. If you guys know of any aftermarket ECU supplier for the ND Mazda Miata, please let me know. We've contacted so many people and a lot of them said that they don't have the data to run the Sky Active. Even down to making a rear diffuser is something I need to do. One of the dream things is to put an active aero, a pneumatic actuator here, so that we can get air brake, we can get DRS. In the beginning, I was against having a wing because I thought we didn't need it, but now having a wing, it makes so much difference, especially with the performance level of this car. My hood here, I gotta send it back to the car shop so we can sandwich it again and push this down. Unloading, and I'll make a checklist to get some coffee. The continuation for the work for the number 55 endurance car. Right now, the team here at Classic Speed are going to make a box frame and then weld a cross member so that we can put a transmission brace to hold the gearbox on this side. We're actually going to weld a differential brace. So it's gonna bridge across here, hold the differential up, and then we're going to get rid of this baby right here. What was happening with the vibration is that the engine wasn't in line with the differential. And if you had just driven the car for the first time, you wouldn't have felt the issue. But because I know this car through and through, I felt it. I feel it, I felt it, I know that there's something wrong. And it's a certain resonance that feels like the car will disassemble itself if we keep pushing hard. So I made the executive decision to do all this right now. I did a couple of more test sessions with the Carbon ND Miata and we're still having vibration. There's vibration in every gear, so it has to do with the drivetrain, but up until the main straight at 180 onwards, I can feel this hum resonance that I have not felt before. At a certain point, it feels like the car may resonate itself and drop something, which is something I do not want to see during the 12-hour race. I have a lot of things to solve between now and next week, and we're gonna have to bring the car back to Classic Speed, fix the fueling because that's too slow. Good morning, back here, rainy Classic Speed. Happy Independence Day. It is the 12-hour race on Sunday, which means the ND Miata has to be checked. This is a box frame, which is welded on the subframe, hopefully for extra rigidity. And we built a box frame going up, and then we built this transmission support with bushing. We have a lock nut here, which is good. Every bolt has been marked, so visually the race team knows where we're at. For the rear, over here, we built a power brace for the differential to carry the differential and separate it from the front. I don't know how this is going to handle. This is completely uncharted territory for us. This is another additional to the car. It's a quick fuel fill system. This is now the breather. Here we have the new mount for the timer. So the AIM solo timer mounts straight there already. This is the power brace that we let go of, and it's actually very light because it's made of aluminum. Risky that what we're doing now, we're doing it right before the race. I also got feedback on our first motor that was the original motor of this car, and it had some issues, so we had it rebuilt, but wasn't happy with the rebuild, so I got it checked, tore down again. The cars of my life. Race car look. Back here in the garage, the boys are doing a spanner check. I have a chance to go out, shake it down. Good morning. So we're running the SXRs on the race wheels. Weather is nice. Do you believe this balaclava is 8,500?
From there?
Yeah. I forgot mine. I was like, bili ako. 8,500.
It has gold plates.
Let's run minimal spacer.
I'll bolt it into the other spacer.
Just to see if that's it. Because I don't feel it on all the gears. I did literally one outlap and it worked for a bit and then it didn't work again. Hopes were so high. But thank you so much to Mazda, Steven Tan, Mazda Philippines. The team here is working non-stop just to get this going. There's a lot of drama in the pit right now. Our car, number 55, has been acting up. The ABS motor and the ABS module haven't been giving us signal. I've been here since Thursday and I've only been able to take the car out for one outing for 3 laps. So what's happening is the RSC module, or the restraint system controller, is acting up, which means it's not giving signal to the ABS module, which means we don't have ABS. So going deep into the corner, braking, I lock up the brakes, the car feels unsafe. So the team of Mazda is here now with a different module, but the problem is we removed the airbags, we removed the seatbelt restraints, we removed some other sensors that this module might need for reprogramming. For those of you who watch this content, the 9,000 of you that actually watch the endurance content, because it's so long, it's like always 50 minutes onward, and I appreciate you because this is the type of stuff that gets me going. I enjoy developing the endurance car and then learning from the things that we execute and the progress that we've made. It's such a good feeling, especially when the drivers come back saying that the car's working amazing, handling amazing. Okay, so we're going to pick up the car, bring it down to the shop, and fix and sort out a lot of the things that we need to figure out. But the car drove us home, brought us the gold victory, and that's what matters. Our super classic pickup. Should get some new wheels for this. Morning. Load her up. So this gave us a problem yesterday. They were fueling, the cap went like this, made sabit, and then we sprayed fuel. Penalty. The gas cap has to go on the other side. Without classic speed, wow, we wouldn't have been able to progress this far. But again, it has to go back to the shop for all the work. We're gonna continue this vlog again later on as we progress into building the number 55 car into the ultimate performance machine. Our target time here at Clark Speedway would be Probably a 205. Welcome back here to Classic Speed. Here's the ND and we're about to take this stuff down. Morning. Let's go. Diagnosing this car because the parts are custom, everything is on order. Good morning.
Hey, try to turn me up a little bit right now. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah, 10 out of 10, let's wait. I've been going big on the things out of state. Do research, check out the back of my place. I rep so heavy, you take what I take.
So we're checking now the gearbox for any sign of failure. It doesn't look like. It's so clean. Shaft?
Dun ako sa shaft at saka dun sa output mo.
Flange?
Yes, ma'am. Pilot bearing. Saka yung pilot bearing.
Here's the main shaft, also the output shaft, which is also the input shaft actually. Weird, because if it's vibrating, if the shaft is broken, dapat pati dito may sayad yung mga gear eh. Looks so simple, no? Meron. So we're checking the shaft. The flange was put through the lathe, and then right there you can see that that's going to shave down if we continue to remove material. Problem with these things, it's bespoke, which means everything's custom. Like even the clutch isn't specifically for Miata because it is a 21 spline versus the 24 spline. Bigger splines, less grooves, bigger teeth, more torque. While everything is down, we're going to insulate the interior as well because the drivers during Yuha Sprint and Milo Sprint were complaining of immense interior heat. I see it in the naked eye, but it's hard to see here. I ended up doing a caliper. This one seems to be the problem, this little spline here. And what happened was the bearing that we used had a sleeve, which meant to center it, it was running on the sleeve. The sleeve obliterated, damaged the shaft. We're gonna find a new bearing, then I have to order a new shaft, then order a new flange. It's gonna be race season in the next 2 months, which means we have to shake down the car. All the parts arrived. They assembled it while I was out. This white box over here, this is a new cool box system. So the racing suit plugs in to those parts and circulates cool water through a cool shirt. And then this is a portable air conditioning. And as you can see, it's tiny. But the problem is these two combined weigh maybe 20 kilos or so. Now this is what we're replacing. This is a passive system. This is put ice in it and then it'll circulate fluid, but you have to change ice every so often. This one now is a active system. Yeah, but we're gonna need to duct that. So we need to wire it in so we know which way the ducting works. This is where we're going to put the aircon module or machine so that we can get some rear biased weight. And then I need to study the air ducting so that we can extract the hot air that's going to be generated from that. We have 17.7 to 18. That's pretty cold already for a race car. So the last time we were here, we tore down the gearbox and we were investigating where to put the aircon system. Gearbox has been done. The aircon system's here in the back, and then we have a vent here to the trunk, so it actually adds more weight to the back. We moved the fuel door here, and we needed to add a fuel vent down on the bottom. And then I'm thinking of molding the hardtop and then making like sort of a Targa top version for it. Not quite sure if that's going to happen. So this is the aircon system. That's the new fuel line that's moved. This is the GCU gearbox control unit. We're going to be wiring this in now, just studying the whole system. So this one plugs there. It has a bridge to the drive-by-wire pedal, which will cut the throttle so we can do flat foot shifting. And then we have spark cut also when we're doing the whole sequence. So basically when you preload the shifter, it tells the GCU that you're going to shift. So it's going to get ready to cut the throttle, cut the spark, so that you can engage the gear, and then after that it'll basically put everything back in. So we're going to install this now, and then this is going to bridge in. This one needs to go. Our road car Andy's here. So this one's gonna get ready for paint, and we're going to do a beautiful clear coat on it. Alright, we're testing the gearbox. Trying to plug into the software. So let's try to figure this out. Why did it turn off? Clutch in, first gear, doesn't die anymore, and then foot steady on the gas. And then downshift. Hell yeah. One more item I need to figure out is how to put this on. This is a quick attach disconnect system for our cool suit. The cool suit plugs in here, and then this part plugs into the base of the car. So when the driver slides in, he's holding two of these things. One will be for the comms and water, and one will be for the cool suit. So normally, I think in the race cars, they're plugged possibly up here. Bam! And then another one for the comms. We actually have an older system here already. This is the first kit, but we only had the drink system plumbed in, and we didn't have extra fittings, so none of the drivers had them. But now every driver will have one of these. As he gets in, we're gonna put the comm port on the lower half, and then he's gonna plug that in. Plug there. Next one would plug there, and then it will connect to this part here. And that will connect to the driver's cool system, where fluid will rush through the cool shirt to cool down the body temperature. Next would be to bring the cooling blower from the back and then sort of route it down here so that the driver's face can also get cooled down. Last night, I ended up printing. Forgive me, I have a slight headache from the racetrack. This is satisfying. So the goal is that should align, which it looks like it will. It's not so comfy. I'm gonna make the handle thinner. It's not ergonomic, as they say, but there. How cool is that? From concept to product. Day 2 here at Clark Speedway, and back to the carbon Miata. Yesterday recap. This morning I just went out with the spec car and did a consistent 215. Best time was 215.3. Yesterday I did a quick shakedown with this car, and our best time was like a 209 something. Now today we're dropping the differential because I still feel the vibration, and good thing I ordered a spare diff for the carbon car, the carbon road car. So hopefully this is going to solve the issue. We're going to transplant the new diff into the rear end because it's the only thing I haven't changed. We're also doing the wheel hub bearings. Always thank you to Mazda for supporting our racing. This is the new wheel hub bearing. The flat foot shifting in that, so good. But I'll show you guys some onboard video. I sent the tune to Engineering, and then they're going to give us an update on what to do to make it smoother. But they're saying not bad for the first round. R&D never stops. Here, the boys have figured out that the rear brace that we're running, the solid rear brace for the subframe, that was difficult to mount, and it was sort of like pushing together or moving the diff a little. So we're going to run this first and see how this feels. The vibration has lessened, so I was able to push a 209.70 a while ago. We'll see what Tyson can do. I love that car. So nice to see the car from the outside, and Tyson, being such a capable driver, can really unleash the car's potential. With me, I'm always like a second or 2 seconds slower than Ty, but today when we were doing the chase lead follow in the spec cars, I was able to keep up with him because even he was saying like my driving has improved considerably, and it's nice to hear coming from a driver like him because he has so much experience and he's so good at what he does. Hold on, Ding. Car has a problem. There's a sound. Parang wala sa gearbox. I know. Sadly, we're gonna have to bring this car back to your shop, tear down the gearbox, and check the clutch and flywheel. Maybe something loosened inside. We're not gonna have any more advancements for the cars or other modifications, so that's about it. So we're gonna end this vlog finally. This is the prep and hard work and just the sheer amount of time and things to study and engineer so that we can get a race winning car. After the last testing, we weren't able to film anymore what happened, but after the last testing, you saw us drop the rear subframe, and the hardened aluminum differential brace that we had installed wouldn't quite fit into the subframe. Back in about 2022, the car met an accident. One of our drivers sort of like tapped into the wall, and we thought it was fixed already, but I think we had some damage, or at the end of the day, you know, the subframe could have moved already from just years of endurance racing with this car. So what I wasn't able to film was I ordered the stock aluminum power brace, and then we put that back into the car. We also changed the rear subframe. We ordered a stock differential carrier, but we found out when the new subframe was installed that the hard aluminum differential brace dropped right in, it slid right in, so we used that. And then recently I did test the car again. I'm going to show some footage, and you can hear that the car is no longer vibrating because the sound resonance also in the audio doesn't change anymore. I was able to clock like a 208 easily with the car with no suspension setting or no alignment checks, no crew even, and I was pretty happy with that, so I decided to park the car. Now, in terms of handling, I do have some new front camber arms that just arrived. It's like 6 or 8 months on back order. Finally just arrived to get more camber on the front tires. In conclusion, if I were to summarize again the whole process of how to develop the car to be a capable track car, I think the weight reduction was huge. You know, removing the air conditioning, the radio, and then going with the full carbon body. Huge weight reduction improvement, and then changing the gearbox and the final drive to suit our track, because on our longest track, which is Clark Speedway, on the main straight, we top out at like 195, even like sometimes I've seen 197, but that's basically almost red line for our 6th gear, and we designed it that way where we're just maximizing all the gears. And obviously the sequential gearbox has shortened gear ratios, which means you're always in the power band. That's why the car does behave a lot faster than the regular spec car that we run. Everything else is sort of standard. The gearbox, the final drive, and the body kit are what I see were game changers in our performance. And we do manufacture the body panels for the Miata both in stock form and widened form, so if you guys need carbon fiber panels, but we only supply them raw because they are tricky to finish. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video, and you know, I'm not a paid Mazda ambassador, but I truly love running the Endurance Miata and the Spec Miata. They are such fun track cars, and then hopefully my turbo road car carbon fiber Miata will be a fun road car. So I'll update you guys again soon if we have any more developments on this project, but thanks for watching if you made it this late into the video, and yes, I will be doing some more Miata content down the line. So if you guys like this content, please like, share, comment down below, subscribe. Peace. Thank you again. Hi, thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Crawled into first place. I have to give a huge shout out to my co-drivers, Yuha and Matt.
All right.
And Tyson and Milo took the brunt, and I did literally like 34 laps. My lowest,
Took the checkered flag.
my
That's what
lowest
counts.
lap count forever. But thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Another W.
It's our first 12-hour win, actually.
Our first 12-hour win since we started.
Since we started.
Na overall.
Yeah.
And then most number of laps.
Yes.
Boom. Finally. Finally. And all these guys back here, all those guys back there.
Was able to say hello to
We got the win.
Yeah.
Thank you always for the support.
Oh, Dennis said the record is going to be hard to break. I said, wow, you haven't talked to Angie yet.
Well, we'll break it again. Of course we'll break it again.
Hey.
Thank you to this car for lasting here at Clark Speedway.